Good morning, WW Robinson. Today is March 29th, 2019, and it's actually the last day of March that we have school. So that means when we come back, it's going to be April. Where has the time gone? I guess time flies when you're having fun. Have we been having fun? Yeah, okay. Good answer. All right, it is day 7 in our rotation, and tell us what's for lunch today. It might be my favorite.
Asian chicken chunks, onion fries, red beans and rice, peaches, frozen juice, ice milk.
Not all of it's my favorite, but the main dish is my favorite. All right. And we have Madeline here to tell us about the weather. Come on over, Madeline. Right here. Come this way. There you go. All right, Madeline. I'll hold this so we can see you. What is the weather today?
Cloudy.
It is cloudy. I think it's going to be warm, though, isn't it? So hopefully the sun will come out and keep us warm today, right? All right. Thank you. And we have Kyler here to lead us in the pledge, so please stand. All right, Kyler. All right, ready? All right, go ahead. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Kyler. Yes. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we have some birthdays today. Celebrating a birthday on the 29th, we have Dale Miller, Edward Pearson, Colin Flogger, and then tomorrow on Sunday, or Saturday, we have Malia Grigsby, Layla Kelly, and Cassandra Pangle. And then on Sunday, we have Madison Clark, John Davis, Amaya Neff, Jada Neff, and Nevaeh Stroh-Snyder. So happy birthday to all of those folks. And then we also have a staff birthday coming up. So celebrating today is Miss Crowder, and on Sunday is Miss Taylor. So happy birthday to those folks. Hope you have a great birthday. And I think we have a kindness quote, but we're going to wait till after we read this morning to do our kindness quote. And do you have any shout outs this morning?
Vincent, Addy, Leslie, and
All right.
Josh and Josh.
Okay. So let's see where we are at this morning in our book. We're on chapter 14. We're actually getting close to the end of the book. I couldn't believe it. I was alone at Billy Thompson's house. Though I guess being out in his dumpy garage was hardly the same as being inside his real house. I wondered if Elvis and I should walk home, but I also still felt a little woozy. This had truly been one of the most bizarre days ever. I sat back down on the couch and closed my eyes. After a few seconds, the image of Billy taking off his foot popped back into my head. Was that really what we'd seen? With all the excitement of my near-death experience, we hadn't had time to talk about anything. I stood up and looked around. I know it's not polite to snoop around other people's private stuff, but then again, Billy wasn't exactly polite all those times he terrorized me at school either. Where are you going? I looked at Elvis, who was all stretched out on the floor. I thought you were asleep. Nope, just resting. Okay, well, I'm going to look around a bit. I found a dusty old lamp in the corner and pulled the rusty chain. The light bulb blinked on, and I could now see the garage was pretty big. And it was a total mess. Bed frame, plywood, steel shelves filled with magazines and what looked like old auto parts. The only thing that looked kind of new was a steel cabinet on the far right wall. There was a padlock on it, but it was open and just hanging there, and the cabinet door wasn't even shut all the way. Honestly, at this point, on this particular day, I wouldn't have been surprised by anything I found in there. Jars of eyeballs, snow globes, an easy bake oven, maybe even my lug nut. But I doubted it. That would be too easy. I pushed the door open with my foot, and well, I was wrong. I could still be surprised. Inside the cabinet were lots of different sized legs and shoes, all lined up on 2 shelves. They were arranged by size, and inside each different shoe was a foot and part of a leg. Some of the legs looked like actual fake legs with fake flesh-colored skin, but most of them were metal legs, like something you would see on a futuristic robot. I reached in and picked up the one with the black and green high-top sneaker on it with the metal leg. When I was 4 years old, I was in a terrible car accident with my parents. I froze. So my Terrell was being a watchdog. Billy was back. I slowly put the foot in the cabinet and closed the door. Then I turned to face Billy Thompson. My dad was in a band. Well, he was really an ups delivery guy, but he sang in a band on the side. They usually didn't bring me along when he had a gig, but one night the babysitter had the flu, so they had no choice but to take me. Billy paused and looked at the sheet music on the stand. For a moment, I thought he was going to cry. Out of all the crazy things that had happened that day, this was by far the craziest. Billy Thompson was a real kid with real feelings, and he seemed to love his dad as much as I loved mine. I was stunned. My mouth was probably hanging wide open. Billy just kept talking. It was snowing when we left, and when we were driving home, we hit a patch of ice. Our car started spinning like crazy right into the oncoming traffic lane. I woke up in the hospital 2 days later after 2 surgeries that I didn't even know about, and that's how I lost my left foot and part of my leg. So now I wear different prosthetics, and that's where I keep my different shoes and legs. You can't even tell, though, I said. No, duh. That's the whole point. Why would I want anyone knowing? It's no one's business but my own. I don't let it stop me from doing anything, and I don't want anyone to know about it, so you better not blab to anyone at school or else. You know, you could try just asking nicely instead of threatening me all the time. And for your information, I'm not going to say anything to anyone. Okay, don't tell anyone, please, if you know what's good for you. I smiled. Well, that's a little better. That was half asking and half threat, but I'll take it. I won't say anything, I swear. Is that your dad's guitar that you're playing, the one from that night? Yeah, how did you know? I didn't know for sure. It was just a hunch. My mom says it took the fireman an hour with the jaws of life to get me out of the car. It was so crunched up in the crash. The whole thing was totaled, but my dad's guitar made it out without a scratch on it. My mom makes me play my music out here because she thinks I play too loudly, but I think it makes her sad because it reminds her of my dad. Yeah, my mom makes me keep my music down too. Actually, I don't really play music all that much, and when I do, I listen to it with earphones on from my iPod. Sometimes I feel like I know more about my dad, and he's not even around, than I know about my mom. She works a lot, and she's pretty quiet. My dad was the loud one. It's the opposite with my parents. My mom's definitely the loud one. So loud, everyone seems quiet next to her. Billy nodded. Yeah, I've seen her around a lot at school. She is loud. I made a face because there's kind of a rule that I can talk bad about my mom, but no one else can. She's around a lot because she's a little overprotective when it comes to me. I was sick a lot as a baby, I said. This time, Billy didn't respond, and I honestly didn't know what to say anymore myself. This was by far the longest conversation I'd ever had with Billy Thompson. After a while, I finally blurted out, I should get going, but I can walk if it's a pain for you to drive me. I'll take you. Of course, I'm going to have to hitch up a wagon to the back of the go-kart for your giant dog. Give me a second. Billy jerry-rigged an old rusty red wagon to the back of the go-kart with some twine and duct tape. Elvis and I sat inside the garage watching through the window. I had pulled up the shade to let some more light in. All the dust that came off it made both me and Elvis sneeze. If you think I'm riding in that red thing, you are sadly mistaken, Elvis said. Fine, you can ride up front with him and I'll ride in the wagon. Forget it. I don't have the energy to save your life again when that thing breaks off on the first hill we climb and you go rolling into traffic. I'm fast, but I'm not that fast. Speaking of, I haven't had the chance to say thank you for saving my life earlier. Thanks for getting the backpack. You shouldn't be thanking me. You should be punishing me. I can't believe I didn't notice you left it behind. I'm a disgrace to the service dog profession. So it is I who owe you the apology for that particular incident. Maybe I was still mad at you for all the harsh things you said to me at lunch. No one has ever called me a liar before. Do you think we should talk about it some more when we can understand, so we can understand exactly why we were what we were both feeling? Or how about just call it even, Steven, and be done with it? I don't know about you, but I don't have the energy to fight with you or talk about my feelings. I just want to get home and lie in the air conditioning and eat a snack. Elvis wagged his tail. No kidding, you and me both. Billy banged on the window when he was done, which made us both jump back. Elvis snorted. That kid really has appalling manners. Don't make fun of him. He's had a tough life. Pish posh, Benjamin. What you will soon find out is everyone has a tough life. What counts is how you handle your unfortunate circumstances. It's called character. I'm trying to build yours up. You already have a pretty decent foundation. This Billy kid, he's trouble. I can smell it. Just because he's had to deal with lots of hardship doesn't mean he has the right to make other people's lives hard too. He did save my life when he injected me with the EpiPen. I'm the one that brought it to you, and I would have injected you, but I don't have thumbs. And I watched him when he did it, and he looked like he almost enjoyed sticking it to you. Elvis and I walked outside. Billy had done a pretty good job at securing the wagon to the back of the go-kart. Are you sure it's safe? Sure, I'm sure. Don't be such a baby. I'm not a baby. I'm just saying I don't know if I can get him to sit in there. He may not even fit. It looks too narrow for his big boned bottom. Fine, you sit in there. He can ride shotgun with me. Come on, let's get a move on. I have some chores to do before my mom gets home. Elvis, get up front. I'm going to ride in the back. I noticed that Billy had made a seatbelt for the back with some nylon straps. You promise you won't drive too fast? Just shut up and get in already. Why are you so whiny? And there he was, the old Billy. I guess some things never really change. Do you want to just walk? Because I'm fine with that too, though you could have told me you were going to weenie out before I used all my duct tape. I'm not weaning out. Then get in. No one makes me angrier than Billy Thompson. He makes me feel powerless, which I hate. I climbed into the red wagon. Elvis just stared at me and shook his head. Elvis, get in. I'm back here because of you anyway. The ride was terrifying, exhilarating, scary, extremely bumpy, loud, and very much like a roller coaster at the amusement park, except that it lasted much longer than a typical minute and a half. Billy was a pretty good driver, and most of the streets had sidewalks. When we were a few blocks from my house, Billy turned down a side street. Billy, what are you doing? I live 3 blocks straight ahead. I think we're being followed, he said in a low voice. I started to look around, but he said sharply, don't turn around. I don't want them to know we know. What do you mean we're being followed? Billy, are you playing a joke on me? Seriously, I really just want to go home. Elvis turned around and gave me a look. Elvis, is he serious? Dude, did you just ask your dog a question? Elvis barked. It's true, we are being followed, and you should tell your rude friend that if this stupid go-kart had a passenger rearview mirror, it would be more helpful. Dude, did your dog just answer you? Billy stepped on the gas and we took off again. He drove crazy fast for the next 2 blocks and then made a sharp right turn, which almost flung me out of the wagon. I was gripping so hard my hands hurt. Billy finally lurched to a stop behind some tall hedges. Okay, party's over. Get out. You think someone is following us and you're just going to dump us on the side of the road? Yep, plus I got to get home, so vamoose. I would never understand this kid, ever. I loosened the nylon straps around my legs and stepped out of the wagon. Of course, my right leg had fallen asleep, and when I tried to stand on it, I lost my balance and fell over in the yard. Elvis picked me up pretty quickly, but there was no way Billy didn't see it. Well, thanks for the ride. Yeah, whatever. You owe me gas money now. I'll collect later. And I'm not lying. I don't have your dumb lug nut thingy. This time I believed him. Maybe Alexander was right. Okay, Billy, I'm sorry I accused you. That was wrong of me, and I also want to say maybe you're not as mean as I thought you were. Okay, you're not that nice, but maybe it's not your fault. I mean, it is kind of your fault, but you don't really have to pick on kids who are weaker than you. But maybe you do it because your own life has been pretty sucky. I'm really sorry that your dad died. Billy laughed. Okay, again, not the response I was expecting from him. My dad didn't die in the accident. He still lives in Michigan. My parents got divorced last year. My mom and I moved here to be closer to my granddad. All of a sudden, he got serious again. But just because I told you about my dad, don't think we're friends or that you really know anything about my life. Sure, I may only have 1 foot, but I'm still faster, stronger, and cooler than you and your 2 feet. The only days you should feel bad for me are when it's really high out because I don't like to wear shorts. Later. Billy hit the gas and took off. I heard him laughing all the way down the street. I just shook my head. I was pretty sure singing prison songs would come in handy for him one day. As soon as he was gone, a large SUV, black SUV, pulled up over right in front of us. Elvis leaped into action. and dragged me back 5 feet from the sidewalk into someone's yard. He then stood in front of me. The tinted window rolled down. We were being followed by Tazy. Hey guys, I thought that was you two. Of course, it's pretty hard to miss a giant dog riding a go-kart. It's not really a sight you see every day. Anyway, I have Princess Daisy with me. Can she meet Elvis now? See, Daddy, do you remember Elvis from the hospital 2 days ago? Yes, Daisy, he's a good-looking dog, I heard Daisy's dad say inside the car. Elvis beamed. I've never met a dog who loved being fawned over more. And we will stop there for today. I believe, are you ready for our kindness quote?
Mhm.
All right, come on over. All right, Christopher, what you got here? Can you read it to everybody?
Yeah.
All right.
If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Find a way to climb it, go through it, or work around it. I'm like,
All right. So what does that mean?
means like just never give up, keep on trying.
All right. Thank you so much. I agree. That's a great quote. All right. So don't give up today and choose to be the kind of leader that you would follow and make it a great day. So long.